Hi guy, I just seen a video about having prayer room in a school in UK, and some say they were discussion whether they will provide a prayer room for Muslim in school in UK. Well, I heard the conversation. They were not in favor to give the Muslim a prayer room in the school, and the reason was they feel not comfortable that Muslim have prayer room. Well, why? Because Muslim pray 5 times a day, so Muslim need a prayer room because there are times in school that a Muslim that pray 5 times a day, so the noon prayer have to be carried out in area around the school, or best is the school provide a room, not a big room, a small room for Muslim to pray and have water tap for ablution next to that prayer room. It's not a big deal budget-wise, so it's only a small room that can accommodate, say, 5 people praying, or even 4 people or 2 people, but make sure that we have separate prayer room for boys and girls. Why we need to provide a prayer room? Because is the ordained God require Muslim to pray. So the Muslim only want to do service to God. If you think of God is powerful things, powerful being that created us, that created the earth. So imagine the school failed to provide room for people who want to pray. So that doesn't look good or respect to God that created human beings, that created the earth, and the provision that God provides to the people living on earth, and everyone should be thankful to God. All religions have their God, and all the people who believe in religion pray. So other Muslim Muslims are more rigorous in their duty to pray 5 times a day without fail. Of course, not all Muslims would pray. Some are not obedient, but some are obedient Muslim who pray 5 times a day. Like my friend, he said he had been praying 5 times a day since he was 6 years old. Wow, that is, to me, when I heard that, I feel a kind of, he is a strong believer than me, but I have not started praying at that age, but much later. But anyhow, as we get older, we get to think about it. And when we think about it, then think of what is life for. And then many people come to the conclusion that they need to do service to God. But some people at a very early age, like my friend, she's 6 years old already, she had been praying 5 times a day until now. That is special to me, but not many Muslims are like that. Of course, there are also Muslim being like that since early age. Their parents train them to pray. Like my son was trained that way at a very early age. My wife would whip them if they fail to pray and knock at their door, keep asking, have you done your prayer?
No.
And okay, yes, so some member of the family, like my wife was not a Muslim before. Then when she married me, was converted and become a strong believer, and he believed that son and daughters must be trained to pray 5 times a day since at a very early age. So called that they were lucky to have a mother who disciplined them. So maybe my friend also have that kind of parents, maybe father or mother. So my family had not been very strict, but I was sent to religious school. Then I get the education, and when I grow up a bit, I start to think and see my friends around me praying 5 times a day. I said to myself, why had I not pray like my friend praying? It's just like suddenly it's a jolt to me that I'm something wrong with me for not praying. Then thinking of that, thinking of that we don't live on earth permanently, so we'll eventually die, and there is life after death. There is a purpose of life. It's not just we were created for nothing. So that led me to think and start praying 5 times a day. Since then, I never miss my praying 5 times a day. Thanks God. Okay, going back to provide a prayer room. In the company that I worked before, there was no prayer room provided. So I pray at home for the noon prayer. It was done a rush because the noon time was only about 1 hour. So I have to travel home, driving, then have my lunch and pray, and then went to work. But then there was a demand by the Muslim people working in the company asking for prayer room. So the company provide us a makeshift prayer room, which was only a cabin, container. They modified the container and make a prayer room out of it. Then there was a Dutch manager. He support building a small mosque. So he provide an engineering manager. He at first was worried that he support building this a small mosque, and then he signed the money, and then he was worried that he signed for the money to build this building, but he was worried that no one would use the building or no one would pray in the mosque. He was worried that the building will be empty and would be a waste of money to build this mosque, a small mosque. But when it was built, it had never been emptied. Every day there are people praying in the mosque, and there was people sounding or the azan or call of prayer, that he could hear it from his office, and he could see people going to the prayer building or masjid every day. At least he see it twice, in the noon and in the evening before people going back from work. And then he said he was giving a talk in a gathering. He said he was the one who provided the budget for building this masjid. He was not a Muslim. He was a Dutch, but not a Muslim. Then he feel that he was happy to see people praying in the mosque that he provided the budget, that he signed the budget for. So that is the story about the prayer room or prayer building in the place of work in my area. Thank you very much for being with me. Shalom.